Alyssa. How's it going?
Good.
Wanted to start with, this is your third World Cup. You've gone as a backup keeper, you've gone as a starter, but this is the first time you'll be the only goalkeeper with World Cup experience in this group. How does that change the approach? How does that change the vibe in training, or does it not change anything at all?
I don't know that it necessarily has to change anything. I think, we're always kind of, anytime you're in a World Cup, there's like the environment, kind of all, obviously there's one goalkeeper on the field, but we're our own little unit, our subgroup within the group. So I think it's how we come together, it's how we train. But it won't change a lot. It'll still stay the same.
We've spoken in the past about the strength of the U.S. women's national team. They call it the goalkeeping union, right? That legacy of every keeper that's gone through that program. What is it that makes that group so strong? Is it just even positionally because you have a different job to do? What is it that makes that union so strong?
We spend so much time together in training. We go out early before the team to get training in, before we jump in with the team. Obviously all of our meetings are together. Even if we're doing game film, the whole group is in that game film. Sometimes it's just the individual goalkeeper who's played that game, but often it's everyone that's there because we all want to learn the same things. But we end up just spending so much time together and that connection. And it's just the intensity and the competition within. I mean, the pool is so deep that there's so many great goalkeepers, in this country that have come through this program that, the competition, we're all pushing each other to be better and getting the best out of each other, which is great.
And Vlatko actually just spoke about how the rotation that you guys have done over the last couple of years to make sure that everyone's at least gotten one cap, obviously Casey's gotten a couple, gets you ready for that emergency situation, which obviously the team went through in Tokyo. How confident are you and the other two keepers to be able to step up if they need to?
Very confident. I think, we've all put a lot of work in these last couple years specifically. Aubrey's been in camp. She went through qualifying tournament last year, which was, I think anytime you can experience any type of tournament feel is important to get a rhythm, to understand there's a lot of different moving pieces that come with just being part of a tournament. So I think that experience is invaluable. Obviously Casey's played now a number of, competitive high level games. So the more we reach on the field, gaining that experience, gaining that confidence, and allowing the players around us to share that confidence as well is very important.
And then, so just talking about the trip, I mean, everybody knows, we talked last week, turn airplane mode phone when you were in France, you turn off social media. How do you fill your time? Like, how do you stay engaged, but also give yourself chances to relax when you're in kind of a long camp format or a long tournament?
I brought a few books with me this time.
What are you going to read?
What did I bring? Just grabbed a couple random things off my shelf. The Nightingale, I think, was one of them. But I've got like a book of crosswords. I've got, I think last time I did a subscription to the Wall Street Journal so I could still keep up with like news and what's going on. Because I don't like to be so disconnected that like you're unaware of like major things happening in the world. Right. Like I think that's taking it probably a little bit too far to be uninformed.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of like staying informed, like what's going on from a global perspective of like in the country, in the world, but just harrowing in on like our team, our focus, what we want to do. And we've got a job to do in front of us. And, I'll spend time with my family. They'll come down for the group stage in New Zealand. So it's always great to even just get coffee or come to the hotel for an hour and have that. But I think we'll create our own little cafe at the hotel and different things. I know we've tried to they've been very good with different like hotels and things that we've stayed at to give like a little outdoor area that we can all go to and either just hang out, get coffee, play games, and just, be together as a group.
And then talking about that break glass in case of emergency moment, I've seen you in the past chasing a goal. Sometimes you'll go up there on corner kicks. That's happened in NWSL this season before. Do you have a plan? Do you have like an idea of what you would do in that moment? Do you think I have a shot at helping the team in that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully we don't have to get to that point where, but I do think that, I'd still have plenty of trust in the other 10 players that would be ahead of me. But I think it more so just allows even just to push one more of our actual players forward into the box. Like I can be, instead of having to have somebody back to prevent a counterattack or this and that, I can at least be high enough to try to get any ball that comes up to kind of get it back in.
So you're no diving headers.
I mean, if
into
it's
the box.
necessary, I'll definitely do a diving header.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you got to do. But no, it's just kind of allows everyone else to get forward and put as many numbers in as we can and try to clean up anything that comes out.
Then 2 real quick ones. This was just kind of a fun fact. There are 4 twins on the team. What is it about being a twin that makes someone ready for the U.S. women's national team, do you think?
I mean, you grow up in competition mode at all times. You have to share a birthday, you got to share parents' attention, and you're always competing. But then you're also the one that has each other's back, through everything. So I think that kind of simulates what like a lot of team environments are like, of that competition, that intensity, that all of it. But then it's, let's go get a coffee. Let's do this. That's the same person that supports you and wants the best for you. So, I think it's great. I think 3 of us were in 19 as well. And we talked about it back then, but for some reason now it's catching fire. I think a little bit more of the outside world is realizing it, but we were well aware of it in France also. And obviously now we've added Aubrey to the mix. So, but no, I think being a twin is fun.
Yeah. And then last one, legacy of that Department of Defense, huge part of the team in 2015, 2019. It's going to have a new look this season, 2 new center backs probably starting day 1. For you, I mean, there's a responsibility, but there's probably a level of excitement too. So maybe just going with that, how excited are you for this particular iteration of the defense to get to show off on the world stage?
Very excited. I think, the whole defensive group that we have has put in so much time and work to get to this point. And now is where you get to see the execution. Now you get to see all that hard work, all that preparation actually get put into these huge moments. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Nae. I'm excited for Alana. Soph's first World Cup. Obviously, Kelly coming back in is huge for us, and just the mentality that she brings and the experience that she brings. Having Sonnet back there and very reliable, and Foxy, obviously her first World Cup, but she's been doing fantastic for this team the last couple of years and in the league as well. So I think that's the whole Crystal, obviously. just Crystal. Yeah. But no, and I mean Crystal's ability even to play the 10 for Portland and now come back in, and the versatility that she brings is incredible. And just the lockdown defense and the 1v1 defending has always been huge for this team. And I think the leadership from her, the leadership from Kelly, the leadership from Sonnet will help. And obviously myself as well, to kind of keep bringing this group together and encouraging them they're ready. They're very, very ready.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Of course.